Next, I want to move into the next level up. So let's say you want something better. You're willing to spend more money for more quality and better results. Well, there are a few different options here. So the method that the high-end virtual tour professionals are using, and I'm talking about the non-Matterport professionals, the people that shoot virtual tours for businesses and just most other use cases. They shoot with a DSLR and a panoramic head. This is a much more advanced technique, but it delivers the best quality because a DSLR captures extremely high resolution with a high quality lens, and you need to use a panoramic rotator like the Nodal Ninja is the most popular one that rotates a DSLR 360 degrees. It's a very advanced workflow, but I feel like I just need to preface all of my videos with that because there's always someone in the comments that says, hey, these 360 cameras are nothing compared to my DSLR. So I always like to mention that, even though the DSLR method is very complicated and a bit impractical, especially if you're shooting a lot of volume and you want to be speedy. DSLRs can take time, especially patching the nadir, which is the bottom, and the zenith, which is the top. So that's the highest of the high end will be a DSLR. It's the equivalent of the Matterport Pro 3 camera for non-Matterport virtual tours. All right, aside from that, now that I've got that out of the way, the 360 cameras I recommend, and there's a few of them here. So the first one is the Insta360 1-inch. I would still use this. I would say this is the next level up from the previous two because it shoots RAW and because it's got a 1-inch sensor, which means it's good in low light. There's less noise and you'll get sharper images with better quality overall with the Insta360 1-inch. And again, it's a great 360 video camera that shoots 6K 360 video. The other one is the Theta Z1. And this camera is getting a bit old now. I think it's nearly 4 years old, but it's still a contender in 2023. There isn't much that can beat it still. Because it was released with a 1-inch sensor. And despite the resolution being a bit on the low side, it's only 23 megapixels. Because of the 1-inch sensor and the really nice big lenses and fantastic camera build quality, the actual end result you get from this camera looks much more than 23 megapixels. So the most popular method for shooting with the Theta Z1 is using the dual fisheye plugin, which is a third-party plugin that allows you to do automated bracketing with your 360 virtual tour photos, which basically means you can capture windows clearly. So you can see what's outside, you can see what's inside, and it all looks even. Whereas with a lot of 360 cameras and the people that are using Matterport, I'm sure you've experienced this a lot, is blown out windows and highlights that are too bright. Whereas when you can take manual control of your camera, that's when you can really bring back those highlights to get a perfectly balanced image, similar to a DSLR real estate photo. So that's what the Theta Z1 brings. It's still a good camera. I still do recommend it. So if you're looking...
Excuse me, Ben, for clarification. So Ricoh Theta Z1 51 GB, Ricoh
Yes.
Theta Z1.
Yes. Yeah. So the first time they released it, I think it had 19 megabytes of storage, but they re-released it with 51 gigabytes, which is a very strange number. It doesn't make sense. You'd think it would be like 100 or 200 or whatever, but 51, there you go. But that's the same thing. So if you're searching for the Theta Z1, you'll come across the 51 gigabytes.
So just for clarification, if you're going to Amazon, for example, and you're typing in Ricoh Theta Z1, you're really looking for the Ricoh Theta Z1 51 GB, which is the current version of the camera.
Yeah, which obviously just refers to the storage capacity, 51 gigabytes. Yeah, so it will show up regardless of whether you put 51 GB or not. But right now, I believe that's the only one that is available on Amazon. 51 GB. So I've got lots of videos on my channel that cover the Theta Z1. It's been my primary camera and the main camera I use within my Virtual Tour Pro course. And I have thousands of my students who love the Theta Z1 and have been using it professionally for clients around the world. And this for me is the perfect middle of the range camera for shooting high quality virtual tours that look really good and is compatible with most virtual tour platforms, including Matterport.